What's going on, guys? Today we are doing a 2023 wide receiver tier list ranking. As you can see, the tiers we have are elite, borderline elite, high end, high upside, quality, okay, solid four option, and undecided and unproven. And then up here we have just a ton of receivers, both receiver ones, more depth pieces, but basically hopefully everything that we really need to all the prevalent wide receivers, really. But yeah, no, starting it off with Adam Thielen. I think Adam Thielen is at this point a quality receiver. He'll probably start off as the receiver one for the Carolina Panthers, but I wouldn't imagine he's going to last too long in that role. I think either Mingo or Terrace Marshall, big Terrace Marshall guy, will probably end up overtaking him at some point. But next up, we got AJ Brown. He's elite, one of the best receivers in the league at this moment in time. Had an awesome year with the Eagles. I feel like every time I watched him, he was scoring a touchdown or doing some crazy play. So definitely elite. We're also are going to be trying my best to be ranking them in order. So like, let's say I had Thielen behind AJ Brown. That means Thielen would be behind AJ Brown. You get it. Probably, hopefully. Next up, we got Alec Pierce. We'll put him at like a solid fourth option, maybe even okay, but Alec Pierce is not someone I would exactly be looking to rely on at this moment in time. Next up, we got Allen Robinson. I'll throw him in okay at this moment, but he hasn't shown a ton. I thought he was going to kind of break out again when he went to the Rams, but again, that was kind of their fault. They didn't really like use him, like they didn't target him, which was annoying fantasy wise. But yeah, no, Allen Robinson, good player, or was a great player, but I need to see more of him, honestly, at this point to put him in anything higher than quality. Next up, we got Amari Cooper. We'll put him in borderline elite. I really like Amari Cooper. Either high end, we'll put him, he's probably near the end of borderline elite, but he's one of the best route runners in the league. I do believe that. So yeah, borderline elite. Amari Rogers, throw in that solid fourth option, maybe even third, but Amari Rogers Amari Rogers has some big plays, every once in a while, but not someone I'm gonna exactly count on. Amon-Ra St. Brown is gonna go up in that borderline elite. I don't know if we'll put him behind Amari Cooper, probably, but yeah, he's on his way to being an elite player. Had a great season with the Lions this last year, so yeah. Brandin Cooks will just put in. I think he'll be in like the upper end of quality. I think he's a good, decent receiver. Getting up there in age, though, and you're not really going to count on him too much to, get those big plays. You know what I mean? But still a good receiver. Brandon Ayuk, we'll throw him in that high upside. He's, is still behind Debo on that receiver depth chart, but still is a great receiver. Still is a guy. So big Brandon Ayuk guy. So, but high upside just because we haven't really seen him break out yet, but high upside. Brian Edwards, again, solid fourth. Honestly, we probably could change this to just average, honestly, which is kind of what okay is. But Brian Edwards we'll throw Brian Edwards in okay. He's an okay receiver. It's fine. Treylon Burks, I almost want to put in undecided or unproven. We'll put him in high upside, though. I feel weird putting him and Brandon Ayuk in the same tier, though. I think I'm going to throw Ayuk in high end and put Treylon Burks in high upside just because, obviously last year was his rookie year, so we still need a lot. There's still a lot we have to see from him. But CeeDee Lamb, we're going to throw at the upper end of borderline elite. He'll probably get there soon into that just elite level. He kind of is elite, but I'm kind of saving that elite tier just for like those top 5 to 7 guys. But CeeDee Lamb is borderline that almost. So he's almost elite. He basically is elite. Chase Claypool, will put him in okay. Solid big body receiver if that's what you're looking for, but we'll see what he does with the Bears after he actually has a full training camp and see if he actually gets implemented in the system. But as for right now, we'll throw him in okay. Christian Kirk actually had a pretty good year last year. I'll throw him in that back end of high end. I think because, everybody kind of freaked out when he got that contract, but he kind of proved it last year that he kind of is sort of worth that money. So we'll throw him in that high end tier. Cooper Kupp, we're going to throw in the top end of elite. Obviously had, if you want to pan it out, the greatest receiver season of all time. So, and I still weirdly think he's underrated. I don't know why people just want to doubt Cooper Kupp, but I still think he's a top 3-ish guy right now. Corey Davis, I think, yeah, he's still on the Jets. We'll put him in okay at this point in time. He's better than Bryan Edwards. We'll put Bryan Edwards behind Chase Claypool, but he's okay at this point in time. Was better earlier in his career, but at this point, probably the wide receiver 3, maybe, yeah, the wide receiver 3-ish on that roster right now, maybe even lower. But Courtland Sutton will put in high end just because he gets hurt a lot, which is unfortunate. But when he's good, or when he's there, he's good. So we'll throw him in that, lower tier of high end. Jamison Crowder will do a solid fourth option. I don't know if he's still on the Jets. He probably isn't, but he's okay. You'll get a play or two out of him, but yeah. Curtis Samuel, we'll put him in quality. We'll put him above Adam Thielen. I think that's fair at this point in time, but not much to say about Curtis Samuel, except that he was pretty good last year, if I do remember correctly. Davante Adams, going to go in that elite tier. He's better than A.J. Brown. Maybe. Probably. That's a kind of a toss-up at this point, maybe. I don't know. I think he's better still. So, yeah, Davante Adams, speaks for himself. Don't really have to explain him too much. Deebo Samuel will put in either like the top of high end or borderline. We'll put him at the top of high end. We'll put him at the top of high end just because great, like probably the best gadget player, maybe if you consider Christian McCaffrey the gadget player. But Deebo Samuel, probably the best gadget player, as well as just a great receiver on his own. So we'll put him in high end though. Devin Duvernay will be our solid fourth option, considering that's kind of what he is on the Ravens at this point. Because they have Zay Flowers, Rashad Bateman, if you want to count Mark Andrews and Odell. So he's actually kind of the fifth option, but as a receiver, the fourth option. So, that's kind of what he is. Devontae Smith will put in high end, put him above these guys. Great season last year. Probably about to say the best receiver two in the league, but that's not true because T. Higgins and Jalen Waddle exist. So DeAndre Hopkins, we're going to throw him in the top of borderline elite. It's very close to elite. He's probably still in that kind of elite tier, but I think the gap is slightly widening at this point in time with like a guy like A.J. Brown, Davante Adams, Cooper Kupp between DeAndre Hopkins. It's close, but we'll put him at the upper end of borderline at this point. Then we got Stephon Diggs, who is better than A.J. Brown. He was really good last year. I don't know if I'll put him better. I'll put him better than A.J. Brown. We'll put him in that top 3-ish right now. Maybe it's very close. It's very close. You could sway me either way you want to. But matter of the fact is, he is an elite player. Deontay Johnson, we'll throw him at the higher end of quality just because he does. We'll put him at the bottom of high end. Like he's better than Courtland Sutton, probably. Yeah, so we'll throw him in there. Deontay Johnson has some catching issues, which probably as a receiver, not exactly what you're looking for, but he's still a guy. So DJ Chark, we'll put him in that fourth option. Again, that's kind of what he is with the Carolina Panthers. Yeah, that's who he plays for. So yeah, DJ Moore, we'll put him in near that top of high end. Big DJ Moore guy. I think now that he actually has a quarterback, he will do a lot better. Even though he still had like 1,000 yards, I think, last season, even with that quarterback stuff that was going on. So DK Metcalf, we'll put him in that bottom. Is DK better than Amon-Ra St. Brown? Again, very close matchup. We'll throw him in the lower end of borderline elite just because he gets what he is. He's a great receiver, great guy. Drake London, high upside. We'll just throw him in there just because he actually had a pretty good season last year, but still was his rookie season, and we'll see what he can do more. He still needs kind of a quarterback, so the fact that he was doing that without a quarterback, pretty good. Put him over Treylon Burks as well. Elijah Moore is now on the Browns as well. I almost want to put him in the high upside. We'll put him in that upper. We'll put him right behind Brandon Cooks of quality, maybe even behind Curtis Samuel, just because, again, it's not too fair to him considering that he's just not being used correctly, in my opinion. So, also with a terrible quarterback situation. Dwayne Eskridge, kind of forgot that he existed. We'll throw him in that bottom, that solid fourth option. That works for me. Russell Gage, we'll put him in okay. I mean, I don't really have any strong opinions about Russell Gage at this moment in time, but he's okay. Michael Gallup, we'll put him in quality. He's better than Allen Robinson, probably better than Adam Thielen at this point too. For what he is a great receiver. For the role that he has to play, Michael Gallup's good. Garrett Wilson, we'll put him in that upper part of high end. Great receiver. Obviously, offensive rookie of the year last year. We'll have a quarterback now as well. He was doing that with Zach Wilson. So think about that. Now he has Aaron Rodgers. I think he'll jump up to that borderline elite tier next year. Chris Godwin, Again, just a high-end guy. We'll put him about right here. Chris Godwin, just a good receiver. Whether he's a receiver 1, receiver 2, whatever you feel like. Just a good high-end guy. AJ Green is retired, so we'll just kind of leave him off. Mecole Hardman is quality. One of the best gadget guys in the league, but like as a receiver, he still has a long way to go. And that's as a Chiefs fan watching him. Fast, but like he needs to do more with every other aspect of his game. But we'll see what he can do on the Jets. Mark Hollywood Brown. Again, we'll throw him in quality. I think he's better than McCole, Allen, and probably Michael Gallup. Maybe you could. That's kind of. It's not that close. We'll do Hollywood Brown. Quality receiver. I wouldn't say he's high end or anything, but great. Decent enough receiver too for what they need. Jahan Dotson. We'll do him in high upside again, just because I don't remember a ton of Jahan Dotson stuff last year, but I believe he just caught a ton of I believe he just caught a ton of touchdowns for that team. So throw him in that high upside. Jacoby Myers is quality, friend of quality. We'll put him like right here. But I do like him. He just doesn't score touchdowns. So fortunately, kind of need a little bit of that. But Jamar Chase, obviously, elites don't. Yeah, he'll be. I think Cooper Kupp is better. That might be a hot take. But again, I'm not just going to gloss over the fact that he had one of the greatest, if not the greatest receiving season ever. I don't care. So we'll keep Chase at 2, though. We'll keep Chase at 2. Jameson Williams, the Mr. Gambler himself. Again, high upside guy. He was hurt a lot of last season, is going to be suspended going into the season, so haven't seen a ton from him. But I did like him coming out of the draft. Jarvis Landry, we'll put him in okay. Like the higher end of okay, just because he's getting up there in age, and he's a decent weapon for them in St. Louis. He's a decent weapon for them in New Orleans. But Jerry Jeudy, will Jerry Jeudy finally break out? I don't know. We'll put him up. He's better than Courtland Sutton, I think. Probably, maybe, probably. Yeah, so, he still kind of needs to break out, but for what he is right now, great route runner. So, Justin Jefferson, the best receiver in the league. Again, don't really need to talk too much about that. Juju Smith-Schuster was pretty good for us last year, and she's now on the New England Patriots. We'll put him in that upper echelon of quality, maybe behind Brandon Cooks. That seems to make sense. Julio Jones, I don't even know if he's still in the league anymore. We'll just keep him down there. Keenan Allen, old head, quality, lower end of high end at this point in time in his career. I think that's fair, just because he's just really slow. He's just really slow. So, is he better than Courtland Sutton? Probably. We'll put him above Courtland Sutton. That makes sense. Yeah. Kenny Golladay is, at this point, almost a solid 4th option. We'll put him in that low end of okay, just because he doesn't really do anything. Making a lot of money, though. So, KJ Osborne, throw him in that solid 4th option. Don't really have a lot to say about KJ Osborne, but with Jordan Addison coming in, obviously with Justin Jefferson, get to see a lot less of them. KJ Hamler, same kind of deal, but right here, sure, fine. That works for me. Laviska Shenault, again, don't really have a lot of thoughts about Laviska Shenault. We'll throw him in there. Allen Lazard on the Jets now, I believe. So we'll put him in quality, probably around right here. Maybe he's better than Jacoby Myers. That's not going to be something that I'm going to think about too hard. So we'll just put him over there. Get Tyler Lockett, good. We'll do him in quality. He's up there with these guys, honestly. We'll put him right there. That does seem to make sense for me. Terrace Marshall, I'm going to throw in either an unproven or like our first unproven guy, just because I really think that he has a lot, we'll be able to use him. And now that it's less of a crowded receiving room and he actually has a quarterback, we'll be able to see. I'll throw him in that lower end of high upside. I do think Terrace Marshall is going to be good. Marvin Jones was pretty good last year. We'll put him in okay, though. That, high end okay. I think that makes sense. Terry McLaurin, borderline elite. The lower end of borderline elite, but Terry McLaurin has made some just insane catches. He just makes insane catches. John Mechie was throwing high upside. Unproven. We'll throw him unproven. We'll throw him high upside. He might have been injured last year. Maybe not, but yeah. Mike Evans, borderline elite as well. Even though he kind of had that slump last year, weirdly enough, but I think as a receiver, he's pretty borderline. I'll throw him in that lower end borderline. I think that makes sense to me. I think Terry McLaurin's better than DK Metcalf. We'll swap that. Maybe better than Monroe. That's close. That's very close though. Mike Williams, we'll throw him in that high end above Keenan Allen. I think so. We'll throw him in that slightly above Keenan Allen. I think that makes sense. Darnell Mooney, we'll put him in quality. Just a good. He should be in the slot. They were using him as like a receiver one, which is just not what Darnell Mooney is. So we'll throw him right here between that Michael Gallup, Hollywood Brown. That makes sense. MVS's quality as well. He'll like randomly break out like a insane catch or just a lot with a lot of yards, and then just do nothing the rest of the game. But you know what? He did have that one good catch. So we'll throw him about right here. Makes sense. Nelson Aguilar, we'll throw him in okay. Maybe even that solid fourth option, but in that lower end of okay. That makes sense. Again, not too many strong thoughts about Nelson Aguilar. All right, next up we got Odell. Odell is old and coming off an ACL injury, so I don't really get all the attention that he's getting, but we'll pull him in that lower end of quality. Because I think that's what he is at this point, but we'll see. Chris Olave was really good last year. We'll do high end. I think he's earned the right to be a high end guy at this point. Maybe high upside. We'll throw him in high upside. At the top of the high upside. I think that makes sense. Yeah, Zaccheaus for the Atlanta Falcons. Solid fourth option. Yeah, sure. Again, not too much to say about that. Devontae Parker is okay at this point in his career. I think that's fine. Maybe lower end quality, but we'll throw him up there with like Jarvis Landry. That makes sense to me. Next, we got George Pickens. Throw him in that high upside. Yeah, he was really good last year. Had some, again, awesome catches. Michael Pittman will put him in quality above these guys, probably right about like right here. I think Michael Pittman is pretty good, but maybe not like a receiver one good. You know what I mean? Quez Watkins, I don't know if you guys remember, he had like that weird like 4-week run where he was like really good and then just never did anything else after that. But yeah, we'll put him in that solid fourth option kind of esque tier. I think that's where he is. Rashad Bateman, we'll do him in quality, that kind of upper. We'll put him like right near Hollywood Brown, funny enough. I think that's kind of where he is at this point in time. Jalen Reagor. Who does Jalen Reagor play for? Does he play for the Raiders? I think he plays for the Raiders. We'll put him in okay, though. Again, maybe above Kenny Galladay, next to Aguilar. That makes sense. Hunter Renfrow is he's just a solid receiver. Kind of like near Darnell Mooney. I think that makes sense for him. Calvin Ridley, I think, is still pretty good. Throw him in that high end S tier, maybe bottom tier of high end, but I think he'll still be pretty good for the Jacksonville Jaguars next year. Robbie Anderson, we'll throw him in a fourth option at this point. He just isn't that good anymore. Yeah, no, he's just not. I don't know. I don't really think too much of Robbie Anderson anymore. Robert Woods is okay. I think he's like near that Jarvis Landry, Devontae Parker-esque tier receiver. He's like painfully okay receiver. Rondale Moore, I'll throw him in that bottom tier-esque of high upside just because I think he's still young and has a lot to prove, but I think he'll be pretty good eventually. Next, got Sterling Shepard. We'll throw him in that quality just because he has that speed. Sky Moore, really unproven. I'm going to throw him in unproven just because he really wasn't on the team. I mean, he was on the team, but he didn't have an insanely important role, at least to start out the season. So we'll throw him in unproven at this point in time. Darius Slayton, he's okay. Yeah, he's okay. He's decent enough. We'll throw him in above Corey Davis. That makes sense to me. T. Higgins is very, very high end. It's insane that he's a receiver too, which is just crazy. We'll throw him again. He's better than Devontae Smith and Brandon Ayuk. Might be that he's near DJ Moore, those kind of guys. Maybe we'll throw Garrett Wilson behind him. I think that makes more sense. Yeah, that makes more sense to me. Okay, Michael Thomas hurt all the time, but when he's not hurt, he's good. So we'll throw him in that very end of high. We'll pull him at the top of high quality. That makes sense. Yeah. I like that. Tim Patrick was hurt last year. We'll throw him in okay. He's solid when he was playing. He's okay. If I have to hear he's underrated one more time, I'm going to blow my brains out. But he's okay. Kadarius Toney, again, when healthy, good player. But he's just not healthy ever. When he's healthy, I'll throw him in that upper tier. Well, no, when he's healthy, he's kind of like low tier, high end. I do believe that. But he's just, the fact that he's never healthy, I'll throw him in quality. Traquan Smith. Don't really have a ton of opinions on Traquan Smith. We'll throw him in that fourth option tier. Better than Robbie Anderson. Tyler Boyd. Pretty good, actually. The fact that he's a receiver 3 is kind of crazy. So we'll throw him in that upper end of quality. Tyquan Thornton, don't have a lot of opinions on him. Just don't. Gonna be honest with you. So we'll throw him in right there. Van Jefferson, solid fourth option. Throw him in that solid fourth option. Tyreek Hill, definitely elite. We'll put him behind. I'll put him at 2. I really think Tyreek Hill is just straight up one of the most valuable players just to have in the league. Just because he's kind of unfair as a player for what he is. So we'll throw him at 2. I think I like that. I think I do like that. Next up, we got Jalen Waddle. Is definitely almost borderline elite. I'm gonna throw him in that borderline. Where's T Higgins? I think he's like maybe slightly better than T Higgins. I'm not thinking I want to put DJ Moore over here. I think I like that, but I think he's maybe him and T Higgins are on like the same level. Honestly, Wan'Dale Robinson had some plays last year. We'll throw him in that okay spot. Put him like next to Darius Slayton. Probably. I think that makes sense. Sammy Watkins, he's still doing stuff. We'll throw him in that okay spot, that, near the end of it. It's fine. And then finally, cap it off, we have Christian Watson, which I think we'll throw him in that high upside tier as well, just because he had that insane run where he was just scoring touchdowns like every game. But yeah, looking at this, looking to find any weird discrepancies. I don't think I see any. Maybe you can put maybe like some small stuff. Like maybe you want to put Amon-Ra over Amari Cooper, or if you want to put like T Higgins over Jalen Waddle. I don't think anything too outlandish is on this. Like if you're squabbling over like somebody in the okay tier or in the lower end of quality, then you do that. I don't care. I don't care. But yeah, I think looking at this right here, this makes sense to me. Again, like small stuff, like maybe you like AJ over one. Like I don't know. But I think as a whole, this is a pretty decent list. I would think so. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Make sure you guys follow all the socials below. Don't forget to subscribe. See you next time.